Okay, I'm gonna say right now that this episode was very impressive. It really impressed me with how it handled the tone shift to the execution of one of the characters. It just, overall, this was a very, emphasis on very good episode of Juuni Taisen. So, if you have yet to start this series, I say give it a shot. I mean, it may look edgy, and yes, it's a little bit edgy, but I'll tell you right now, it's pretty good. And there's definitely a lot more going on than a standard battle royale. There's definitely a lot more, which makes a lot of sense, since if you know and recognize the writer, then obviously the writer knows how to write a series and make it very confusing, wacky, and just good. So, it's to be expected that Juuni Taisen would be good, just still, it impressed me with the execution of this episode. So anyways, we have Dog and Chicken as the main spotlight of this episode. Now, I don't know how many actually know about the Chinese zodiacs, because that's what all of these characters are based off of. But if you were unaware, the chicken and the dog are not compatible whatsoever. If you know about the Chinese zodiacs, some of each individual zodiac has their own respective partners that they can be really good with, and the people that they cannot work with whatsoever. In this case, Dog is one of those that Chicken could never work with, and vice versa. Dog could never work with Chicken, Chicken couldn't work with Dog. It would never work, and that's how the Chinese zodiac works. Their personalities are completely incompatible. And so, when you look at this episode, and if you know about your Chinese zodiacs, you know something was going to happen. Not just because of how the dog was using the chicken and wanted to get more information and then eventually, kill her off. That wasn't the fact. It was just obvious that if you know your Chinese zodiacs, that they are not going to trust each other. They're not going to work together, and there's going to always be trouble that pops up for these two individuals if they are in the same room together. Anyone that's, a chicken or a dog, they cannot be in the same room. They're the worst of friends. So anyways, we have it to where Dog, throughout the entirety of the episode, he believes he has the upper hand. He believes that he is going to trick Chicken and then kill Chicken off, basically, towards the end, once he's done using her. Which, when you look at this is a battle royale. And when it comes to battle royales, when it comes to teamwork, especially if there's going to only be one winner, usually teamwork is hand-to-hand with betrayal. That's just how this stuff works. It's just completely how it works. Betrayal is like the other side of the coin of teamwork, because if it's a battle royale and only one person can win, everybody's out for their self, their one and only. And so basically, seeing, him trying to plan to kill Chicken off, it makes complete sense. Now, obviously, amongst these individuals, all of the Chinese zodiacs, some of them probably will be very passive. They probably don't want to kill people, which the monkey is definitely one of those. You can see by the way the monkey presents herself and how she communicates with others, that she clearly is a pacifist. She isn't someone that actually wants to harm an individual. Now, she probably would if she was forced to, but overall, she does not want to cause any harm to any individual. And so, majority of the people that enter this are probably going to be very savage and probably want to take anyone out. In this case, that's what Dog wanted to do. He wanted to play the long game, and he wanted to be able to be the last one standing by, kind of sitting in the back and just waiting and biding his time. But then, the chicken made her move. And this is what was really interesting about the dialogue and why I loved the episode. It was the fact that the dog believed that he was getting a lot of information out of her. She was a greenhorn. And at first glance, when I was watching the episode, I believed that the chicken was a greenhorn. I believe she was actually very naive, and she wasn't necessarily taking this too seriously. But then a scene came around, and we saw, the monkey say, anyone that is here a part of the Juuni Taisen obviously is a capable warrior. They're not someone that is not accomplished or a good warrior. Anyone that is here is obviously someone that knows what they're doing. Even if they seem crazy, or they are crazy, they still know what they're doing. And in this case, as soon as that was said, I was like, okay, so Chicken's obviously playing a long con here. Something's going on. And now this is even before, I knew that something was going to happen, since they were the dog and chicken and they're not compatible whatsoever. But the thing was, something was bound to happen. Well, basically, as the episode carried on, if you look at the dialogue and analyze it, the dog gave up more information than the chicken ever gave. The only thing Chicken ever stated was that her ability, she's able to be a spy and look at, different areas around, different places through the birds, the doves, and that was one of her abilities. Now, at first glance, too, this is very dangerous because giving up your ability and letting, the enemy know how your ability works, it could be very fatal to you, because since the dog now knows, he could easily watch out for birds, take them out, and then he can be completely fine, and then she wouldn't have been able to keep track of him whatsoever. But that was the thing, though. The way she acted, she was acting like a bubbly idiot, and acting like she didn't know what she was doing, and she was basically just, saying things that only she needed to say and didn't say anything more than that. And when you see her just talking over the, the dog's thoughts, when he's just thinking in his mind what he needs to do, you can see how she's just running her mouth constantly, but she's only saying information about the rabbit team, and that's it. She's not saying anything else. And then she also says that she has no information on the other locations of the Zodiacs, which is very suspicious, because she's a spy. She has the ability to see through birds. So anyone that has that type of ability that can see from the air and all around, they're obviously gonna know a lot about what's going on. And I mean, when she says she lost track of Rabbit or whatever, that made no sense to me either, because she's like, look, I lost track of Rabbit, but, I still know where one of them is. That doesn't sit right with me, because for her to have these birds paying attention to how she's able to key in on this, it just makes sense that she clearly is withholding information. So that keys you off that something was going on. There's something very shady with her. And so when the dog revealed his technique when he bit her, that was at that moment you would assume that she is going to die, or she is definitely a greenhorn for herself to allow to be bitten like that. And in this case, when he did that, and when she realized that he gave her physical capabilities, increased her power, and she didn't die, it showed that he dropped his guard. He became too trusting in that moment. He was way too trusting, and so she turned against him and crushed his head in. And the messed up part about that scene is that she did it so passively. Like, she didn't even have a change of expression or whatever. The way she just pushed the man and just crushed his face instantly, it's just like, yo, she just did that without even blinking. She just did that without even thinking about it. She did that without even actually saying what she was probably thinking in her mind, like evil thoughts or whatever. She just crushed this man's head like it was nothing, like a freaking egg. So that's messed up in a way, but in the way this was done, I really like the writing of it, because you could see it coming. You saw it coming, but at the same time, the way it was delivered was just so powerful. So, like I said, this was a really good episode. It was a truly good episode the way episode 2 of Juuni Taisen handled the betrayal. Now, getting into the other stuff, let's talk about Rabbit for a second. So, Rabbit is clearly the victor. Rabbit definitely killed the boar in the last episode. So, it's kind of messed up, really. When you look at it, no character in this anime so far seems to have plot armor. And if I'm looking at any character that most likely is the potential MC, I'm going to assume it's either the monkey or the rat. It's one of those two that I believe is going to be the MC of this series. I don't think it's Ox. Ox is definitely one of those type of characters that's going to be that heavy hitter, probably helpful character towards the end of the series. But overall, I don't think he is someone that is going to be the MC. He's definitely a good support character. So I believe it's either the monkey or the rat that's going to be the MC. Definitely. Now, Rabbit, I do see Rabbit not lasting too long, especially with how dangerous Rabbit's abilities are. It's going to be obvious that the majority of those individuals that are working in the Juuni Taisen are going to focus him down. Because anyone that can bring back people and use their corpses to fight, it's obvious you're going to get focused. Because you just have a deadly ability, and people are not going to want to put up with that whatsoever. So, if they find the Rabbit, take him down. So, yeah. Anyways, though, episode overall, it was a very good episode. I believe, like I said, it was better than the first episode. It's definitely worth a watch, and that opening also is fire. Love the opening. Love the opening, by the way. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Please be honest in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you also like my content, please subscribe. And if you want to support me for I can continue to focus on YouTube, please go in the description and support me on Patreon. It helps me out a lot. So, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.